You're listening to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio, presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Now back to your hosts, Matt Hatfield and the coach, Ed Young.
Man, Thomas, you're good. You snuck in the club Thursday night and found the tune that Ed Young was getting down and boogieing to.
I know all his favorite jams.
You do. You found that was the tune I heard he was... My investigative reporter told me that you were getting down to. That was your jam Thursday night.
No,
yeah, that's it. You just don't remember it. You were in a state of delirium.
No, I know.
Delirious. You were delirious or delirium? I'm not sure.
I was doing the Kiki Challenge.
We got that one too.
Well, we have to play that for Mac.
I don't even want to go there. Let's move along to our more important topics and matters. Our next special guest, he is the head football coach of the Norview Pilots. He previously coached at Smithfield with the Packers, helped them make the playoffs and make some noise, beating Lake Taylor last year in the first round of the postseason, and did some good things with Smithfield. But he's got some Eastern District roots, and here to talk about that and the attitude at altitude we're talking about, laying the foundation there at Norview, is Reginald Chavis. Coach, good morning. How's it feel to be back in the Eastern District?
Feels great. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning, Coach.
We're doing well. Thanks for coming on the program. And first, let's rewind, and then before we look ahead and preview, you did some good things at Smithfield. I know it wasn't an easy decision for you, but tell the folks about leaving Smithfield, what you did there, and now moving into Norfolk at Norview High School.
Leaving Smithfield wasn't easy at all, but it was nothing like coming back home. At Smithfield, we were able to make the playoffs 3 consecutive seasons. We were able to send guys off to play at all levels of college football, having the opportunity to see guys grow as far as in the classroom. Each year having consecutive over 20 players with over 3.0 GPA, and then having them be successful on the field, just seeing them flourish from by the time I got there and up until the time I left. It was definitely a completely different program.
And, of course, Delton Cotton was doing double duty at Norview as the head football coach and athletic director. They're just a couple seasons removed from a close state semifinal loss within a touchdown to Highland Springs, who's won 3 consecutive state titles in Class 5 now. But you go into Norview where, all right, they're not as seasoned as a couple years ago when they had that group with DJ Mack, who's the quarterback now at Central Florida, and Kevin Marks, running back at Buffalo, and Anton Ashby and all those seniors they have. But you got a lot of promising youngsters, it looks like, on the roster, some sophomores, juniors, even a few freshmen that will be doing hopefully some big things for you here in the future.
Definitely. We're a very young team. We only have about 6 seniors. So the future is very bright for the Pilots. And just right now we're just basically sticking to the fundamentals, making sure that we don't jump ahead just because we do have some talented underclassmen as well as some seniors too. But we do have a lot of talented underclassmen that are going to do some great things for us this year.
Coach, since we're alluding to some of those players, how about let's talk on the offensive side of the ball. Who are some of the guys we have to watch out for? I know you don't have many seniors, but if you do have any seniors, and maybe if those guys have the opportunity to move on next level, let's highlight those too.
I know on the offensive side of the ball, our tight end, our Y, Kelsey Uzi Askew, he's going to be a mismatch. He's been a mismatch for us through our 7-on-7 runs. And he's an aggressive, hard-nosed player that is always looking for contact and, looking to make plays as far as being a senior leadership. Also, we have Detarius Allen, who's is also another guy on the offensive line that's going to help anchor as well. And then as far as underclassmen, we have guys such as Marquise Deeds at quarterback and Jalen Bradley at wide receiver. And then we have 2 Josh Johnsons, and both of those are guys that consistently playmakers for us. And then a freshman, Katron Allen, at running back, and as well as Ahmad Ashby. That is another legacy player from his older brother played not too long ago as well.
Did I catch that right? You said you have 2 Josh Johnsons?
Yeah, 2 Josh Johnsons.
How in the world do you distinguish between the two when you're?
Well, one thing, Coach, Norfolk is notorious for nicknames, so I'm sure you gave nicknames.
Oh yeah, it's Big Josh and Little Josh.
Okay, make it easy.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And you mentioned Marquise Dietz. I believe he's already gotten a couple of offers. He's a rising sophomore, and he was a wide receiver, so you're looking at maybe moving him around different spots?
Yeah, well, he actually will be our quarterback this year.
Okay.
You know, he's done a great job in leadership. You know, anytime he can get the ball in his hands, so you know, being that quarterback, you know, he's gonna be the first one and have the most touches. So you know, we trust in him that he'll do the things that we need him to do in order to lead our program.
Chatting with Reginald Chavis, the head football coach of the Norview Pilots, here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. And correct me if I'm wrong, your two scrimmages, you got Bayside as one?
Yeah, Bayside will be our second scrimmage.
Okay.
Scrimmage this Saturday coming up down in Northeastern with Hereford County.
Oh, you're in that jamboree, and there's a lot of teams in that from around the Hamptons area. I know Deep Creek is going on their Western branch, just a slew of teams. So there's
11 a.m. is our time.
All right, so you guys are up early, almost crack of dawn to get there for that one.
Oh yeah.
Let's go through.
Get it in, get it out.
Yeah, very true. You can get back home before it's dark. Tell me about some of the, going over to the defensive side of the ball, some guys to watch out for there, and maybe a couple of breakout names that we might not know about.
On our defensive side of the ball, once again, those same group of guys as well. Adding along with an Hassan Johnson. He's a guy that's going to be a young guy for us that is, you know, blazing speed all over the field. And those same group of guys that from on the offense coming on the defensive side as well as Phil Ross. He's just a big defensive end for us that's really going to overpower the edge.
Now, Coach, also, as you're coming in new to Norview, without giving away a lot of the trade secrets, what will people see you guys do on the offensive side other than we're trying to score a touchdown every possession, which we do get that, but your offensive philosophy a little bit and a little bit of your defense?
Much is the same as Smithfield. You know, we want to make sure that we are balanced as possible. We like to run high tempo on offense, being consistent. You know, our motto is first downs equal touchdowns. You know, we want to keep it basic, allow the guys get our playmakers the ball early and get out make them help us with our success. And then we took on the defensive side. We have the same type of thing. We're a multiple front team with a 50 front, 40 fronts, and you know, just getting out to the quarterback. You know, we want to make sure that we're physical up front and that we can cover on the back end.
And looking at your schedule, correct me if I'm wrong here, your first three games on the road, you go to Northeastern and North Carolina, and they've got a really darn good program out there, August 24th. Then 6 days later, you turn around and go to Indian River, at Churchland September 7th. Then you have a bye week. Your first home game is September 21st against Lake Taylor. So you'll be battle-tested and well-traveled by the time you get to that. You know,
that's one thing about being out in the Eastern District and, you know, having those 3 out-of-district games that you can schedule and whatnot kind of helps you build your schedule up so that you'll be tested. And, you know, we're prepared for it. We know every week, especially in the Eastern District, that, you know, every game is a rivalry game. So, you know, at any time, if you think you're going to go in and just blow a team out, you know, you may come out with an L. You know, so you always got to be prepared. You know, these rivalries go back since, you know, the early days.
Couple more minutes with Reggie Chavis. He's the head football coach of the Norview Pilots in Norfolk, here with us on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. They got a couple of scrimmages, the Jamboree down in North Carolina, then Bayside, and then their opener is August the 24th at Northeastern in North Carolina. Their home opener September 21st against Lake Taylor, their longtime Eastern District and Norfolk rival. If you had to look at this team now, and again, this can change when we talk to you, get on the show, or just in general, whether it be in late August or September, October, what do you think your identity or strength lies in on the offensive side of the ball and defensively? I know you mentioned about being balanced, sort of like you were at Smithfield, but where do you think you guys are strongest at position-wise and could really be your I guess, main points of emphasis?
Our main portion of emphasis is, to be honest, not even dealing with guys on the field, but just making sure, since we're such a young team, the maturity level, you know, making sure that our guys are prepared for the moments that we want them to tackle at hand. You know, these guys, as far as us being balanced, you know, we really are truly a balanced team at this point right now. But it's just making sure that each day that, you know, but with having so much youth on the field, you know, having them with that same mental approach every day can be a task, you know. So we're always challenging them mentally to meet the tasks that we want them to accomplish.
Reggie, we had a call earlier talking about the new helmet to helmet rule in football, which to me think is going to cause a big stir, and it's kind of like taken away from what players have learned. Your perspective on not only that, but what you do teaching-wise at the high school level when it comes to helmet hits.
Well, to be honest with you, we always practice of taking the head out of the game anyway. We go through tackling circuits on defensive days and even on offensive days, making sure that our guys try to keep their heads out of the game, because with the concussion protocol that you have now, I mean, the least hint of a daze or bell ringing, any of that terminology, the player instantly is coming out. So the best thing for any coach to do is to coach him up to keep the head out of the game, and that's the way it's headed, not only at our level, but at college and at the pro level as well. So that's one thing that we always harp on, keeping the head out of the game, so that you can stay in it. Guys, when I first started first learning that protocol, guys were coming in and out of the game a lot, and so it was hard to keep up with rosters and guys having that depth of the guys coming in off the bench. But now with these kids going through years of, hearing about concussions and hearing about ways to keep their head out of the game, these kids are actually prepared way more than back in the day as far as keeping themselves safe.
Yeah, I would think that teaching over the years has progressed greatly. Back in the day,
absolutely,
when we played, you get your bell rung, as you mentioned it, you get a smelling salt, and the coach puts you back out there. Those days are forever, ever gone, and that's not just yesterday. That's been done for a while now.
Right, absolutely. Like, these kids are way more prepared than we were for that.
I just think in the pros, though, it's a little different. It's a little bit more of a stinging game, a little bit more physical game. And my comment, very simple, without being a coach, is you have to be a little bit more observant as an official. If a guy's leading with his helmet on a tackle, that's a flag. If it's helmet somewhat involved, but he's not leading with the helmet, that's kind of football. Again, I may be 100% wrong, but I just think it's going to cause an issue that's going to be changed as the NFL moves on.
Yeah, and it's definitely a judgment call. And with college and those guys, they also have that opportunity to, take a look at it in an instant replay. So, that's a whole nother level of taking the head out of the game with them.
Very true. Don't have that at the high school level, and I'm certain interested to see if maybe many moons from now that does take place. But, Coach, thank you so much for your time this morning. We wish you all the best with the Pilots, and I'm sure we'll chat with you soon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Enjoy
Good
your
luck,
weekend.
Coach.
Bye-bye.
That is Reginald Chavis, head football coach of the Norview Pilots, with us here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. I love the attitude at altitude motto that I got going over there. I think Norview will make some noise. They're very young this year. You heard only about 6-7 seniors, but they got some good ones with the Josh Johnsons, Marquise Dietz, Philip Ross in the trenches. I think they'll be heard from before the year is done, and we'll be talking about them in the playoffs beyond 2018 and probably so this year too.
That's a tough and opening schedule for a young team.
It is, but you know what? If you get your wits about you by the end of September, you can get on a little hot streak before the playoffs arrive. Their last game, by the way, regular season, is November 2nd, an out-of-district matchup. They host Hampton, who they upset last year. Remember, they were young last year and knocked them off at Darling. So that will have serious playoff implications in Class 5 Region A. When we return, we'll chat with Troy Williams of the NBA's New Orleans Pelicans out of Phoebus High School in Hampton.